everyone, it's Phoebe from Street Style Surgery. I hope you're all well this week. I'm going to be showing you today how to make one of these bird masks. So the materials we're going to use are one egg box, a Pritt stick, some scissors, a stick. I'm using half a chopsticks, and some paper. So we're also going to want some paint to decorate, to paint the inside of the eyes and the beak. So some paint and a paintbrush. And then I've also got some different materials that I'm going to use to decorate the feathers with. So you can use whatever you've got for this. I've got some paint, some oil pastels and some felt tips and some glitter and some feathers, but you can use whatever you've got. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut out part of the egg box to make the base shape, which is the eyes and the beak here. So if you cut the top of the egg box off, and then you're left with this part, and then you can see that the top two holes and the first divider in the middle make up the eyes and the beak, so you just need to cut that bit off, and then we're left with our base. So the first thing to do is to paint this, and then as the paint dries, you can make the feathers. So I'm just going to decide what colours I want to make it, and then paint this bit. And there we go, I have finished painting the inside of my mask. So I went for yellow eyes and an orange beak and surrounding bits, and then just did 2 circles of black for the pupils. So now I can put this to the side and wait for it to dry whilst I'm making the feathers. So I can get all the paint out the way. So to make the feathers, we're going to cut pieces of paper out in the shape of the feathers, and then we can use these as a base and then stick any decorations we want over the top. So if you've got coloured paper, you can cut them out of all sorts of different colours. If you've only got white paper, then that's fine too. You can cut them out of the white paper and then colour them in with colouring pencils or whatever you have to decorate with. So I'm just going to cut out a feather shape from my white paper. There we go. And then what we can do is fold over a little bit, and they'll just stick to the top like that. So we don't want to make the feathers too long, otherwise they end up flapping over because they're not strong enough to stand up. But like this, it's kind of perfect. So I'm just going to carry on cutting out a few more. I'm going to do a couple out of the white paper, and I'm going to do a couple out of the other colours of paper that I have as well. So now I'm going to see if these will fit around my bird mask and whether I've got enough, and if not, I'll cut some more. So I'm not sticking them on at this point, I'm just trying to see how many I'm going to need. So I have one there. I think I might need a couple more, so I'm just going to do one more blue one and one more green one. I've ended up with 8 feathers in total. You can do the same thing that I did, so cut out a few and then measure them against your mask and just see how many you need, because it will depend how big you're cutting out the feathers on how many you're going to need. But I'm happy with this amount, so I'm just going to start decorating them. So for all of the things that you're going to decorate with that are like crayons or pens or pencils, that's great to do now. With any of the bigger things, like when putting the feathers on, it's best to wait until you have stuck your paper feathers onto the mask. So I'm just going to start with my decorating. There we go, so now I've decorated all of my feathers with my oil pastels, and I'm just going to add a little bit of glitter to each of them. So I'm just going to put a little line of glue down the middle of each feather. And then shake my glitter shaker onto each one. So now you can go back and feel if your mask has dried, and if it has, that's great, you can start sticking. If it hasn't quite dried, then you're just going to have to leave everything like this for a bit longer and come back once it's dried. I've left this for a couple of hours so it's had a chance to completely dry, and so now I can start sticking on my feathers. So I'm just going to start from one side and stick them down just that's about a couple of centimetres onto the back of the egg box. So I'm going to use Pritt Stick, and it's better to use that than use PVA, which takes a while to dry. I'm going to start over this side. And you can see I've just stuck it like that onto the back. And then I'm just going to carry on going around in the band shape. I'm just going to stick it a bit more of an angle. So I'm going to start here and then just carry on going round in a fan shape, sticking on all of the feathers. You can see the way I've decorated them, I've left a couple of centimetres at the bottom for the sticking. So now I've stuck all of my feathers on. I'm just going to, as well as sticking them to the back, I'm going to attach them to this front lip, just so that they don't flap backwards. There we go, and now they stay up. So I'm also going to stick the feathers I've got onto the front as well. So I've just got all these different coloured feathers. I'm just going to use Pritt Stick again stick them onto the front. I'm also going to put a bit of glue on all of the overlapping feathers, just for a bit of extra support, so that the ones that are next to each other hold each other up. There we go, and you can see that staying up really nicely now. So now I'm just going to make the holes for my eyes and for the stick. So I've got a sharp pencil and a ball of blue tack, and the stick is going to go through, as you can see in this example, it's going to go through the beak and then rest on this. So that's how I'm going to make my hole. I'm just going to put the blue tack on the other side from where I'm sticking the pencil, and then I can poke the pencil into the blue tack. And I've done that to make the first hole at the bottom of the beak. Now I should be able to just push the stick through the second. Yep, there we go. And I'm going to do the same thing to make the eye hole. So I'm going to put the piece of blue tack behind, and I'm going to poke the sharp pencil through the eye hole. This is so that you can actually see out of your bird mask. And there we have it, my finished mask. So I hope you've enjoyed this how-to, and I hope that some of you have a chance to make some of your own bird masks. Bye!